Hey class, this is for the citing text evidence notes. As you can see on this slideshow, this is your Canvas page for citing text evidence. We are going to go over the slideshow notes about citing evidence and what that actually looks like. We've already done this. However, we're backtracking just to make sure that we all clearly understand what is expected when I ask you to cite evidence, and furthermore, when someone asks you in a paper to support your answer and cite evidence, you have a clear picture and a clear understanding of what you're doing. So you're going to go ahead and click here for the slideshow. At the same time, go back and click here for the notes. When the notes open up, you always want to open with DocHub. And I would take a split screen and make this small. I would see if I could. No, I can't make it smaller. Okay. Then I would take my slideshow notes, which I did open them. I don't know where they went, so I'll reopen them. Oh, it's right there. And I would make it small. And as I go along through here, you would write and type your answer. I'm only going to start out with this so you can see what I'm doing, and then you have this in your toolbox. So, citing-based evidence. Citing-based evidence means for you guys to look back in the text to find evidence to support an idea, a thought, or claim. So it's when you go back into the text, you find evidence to support your answer that is showing an idea for your answer, a thought for your answer, etc., etc. It's more than I'm just going to write my own thoughts. It's actually I'm going to find text to support my thoughts. Students need to find strong evidence and prove their thinking, which is another reason why we cite evidence. Students are expected to properly cite the evidence with accurate punctuation and style. So you would take this and here, let's get out of this, write your answer. So, again, taking this, making this, I can make this right there. So, citing textual evidence means to find evidence from the text to support an idea, thought, or claim. And now you have that in your notes. I'm going to make this large. I'm going to, there we go, and spread it out so you can see. So I have my understanding of what citing evidence means. Now, the rest of it you're going to take and you're going to write your steps and what it says on this page. And I'm just now going to go over it. When you're finished with your notes, when you finish, okay, you don't need to submit this to me, okay, but you can download it. You could copy the link if you would like to send it to me, or you want to resend it to yourself so you can have it. You could put my email, then you could put your email. And I would just really suggest, if you are all virtual, doing that, okay? So I'm going to exit this. So how do I properly cite text evidence? I start with a strong transitional statement. For example, on page blank, so on page 7, the author states, sentence starter. The text states, comma, then the text evidence. The author explains, comma, text evidence. Blank says, so the text, comma, The Prince and the Pauper says, or the name of the author. So Dickens says, because Dickens could be an author's name. Number 5 says according to the text, and then you would write your text evidence. So these are strong sentence starters that help support when you then write your cited evidence, because you don't just pop in your evidence without giving some context before you do that. How do you do this properly? Okay, after you would write the sentence starter, then you would take your quotation mark and find the evidence, know the evidence, and then write word for word the text evidence. Then you would close your quotation marks, and that's the first part. So sentence starter, word for word text evidence, make sure you have it in quotation marks. Last, parentheses, this is the author's name and the page number. If you don't have more than one page, you could put the paragraph number, and then you close your parentheses. Then you end your sentence with a period after your parentheses. Okay, for example, the author states, comma, quotation marks, 90% of students have cellular devices. In the quotation marks, I got that section was from text evidence. It's from the author Reagan from page 241, close parentheses, period. Okay? Now, for this, because you're not with me, it says, teacher model, I do. How does the reader know Margot is unhappy? Okay, so he gave her a shove. This is from Ray Bradbury's short story called All Summer in a Day. Here we go. He gave her a shove, but she did not move. Rather, she let herself be moved only by him and nothing else. They edged away from her. They would not look at her. She felt them go away. And this was because she would play no games with them in the echoing tunnels of the underground city. If they tagged her and ran, she stood, blinking after them and did not follow. When the class sang songs about happiness and life and games, her lips barely moved. Only when they sang about the sun and the summer did her lips watch the drenched windows. And then, of course, the biggest crime of all was that she had come here only 5 years ago from Earth, and she remembered that the sun and the way the sun was and the sky was, and when she was 4 in Ohio. And they had been on Venus all of their lives, and they had been only 2 years old when last the sun came out, and had long since forgotten the color and heat of it and the way it really was. All right, so Margot is unhappy. We can tell that based upon her actions. We can tell that based upon what she's thinking, how she feels about life, okay? So if I would answer cited evidence to support my answer, I would need to find those things. Again, start off using a sentence starter. So according to the text, when the class sang songs about happiness and life and games, her lips barely moved. Bradbury, 2, because it said this was from page 2. This is the author. You would put the last name of the author. So again, I didn't really go over the question and the real answer, but I hope you understand that when you answer a question, you answer it with your reasoning, but you need your reasoning to have a support system, which is your text evidence. Find it, create a sentence starter, put the text evidence in quotation marks, put your author's last name and the page number or paragraph, close your parentheses, put your period, and boom, you now have supported evidence that someone can now believe because you supported it with your understanding of what your answer is. This is important. If you do not do this, you do not have ground to always stand on when you give an argument or when you write a paper or when you even answer your questions, because there's nothing that supports your reasoning. It's just your reasoning. Okay, so you need support. You can do this one on your own. You have this on your paper. It's from page 1 from this story, and it's going to ask you about how does Bradbury use word choices to create imagery, which is the scene, and the landscape of rain. So think about the landscape of rain, and then how does the author use word choices to create those? So words like gush and drum and sweet crystal fall of showers, these words create images. So when you read it, how does Bradbury use word choice to create imagery in the landscape of rain? And in yours, get cited evidence, use a sentence starter, and cited evidence to support how that word choice creates a picture, creates rain to be seen. I hope this was very helpful for you. Go ahead with your text that you are typing on, save, instead of saving it, send it back to you. If you want to send it to me just to show me, that's fine. This is not a grade, but this is a document, a resource, a note sheet that helps you understand why am I citing evidence, why is this so important, and how do I do it? Thank you. Bye-bye.